Ulonka tabati yada to ye ko madaifa. Inu to ye ko je love fi pa. Oba tala, oba takutakun. Songo Eshu, Ogun Oya Osun. Kini ṣẹ̀ṣe tán ṣe nílé yìí o. Ó jẹ́ lọ jára rẹ̀.
Alafia, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of the African Spirituality Experience. I am your host, Orisha Bami, and we are back with another one tribe. We got some new talent in the building today, coming in these Ase streets, and then we got one of our regulars now. I am SEG Mahri, and
Hola.
So before we get into that, I just want to give a huge shout out to all the new subscribers to the channel, the new channel members, and the new Patreon members as well. We got a private call coming up Saturday, and then I'll be sharing some more information with y'all in the private Patreon tomorrow as well. So with that, without further ado, Marianna. Actually, no, I am SEG. You want to do the honor of introducing somebody?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a long time coming. I want to introduce to you someone who is very special to me and has been doing this work going super duper hard. Please welcome to the stage Miss Marianna. She is a social wellness leader. Welcome.
We in this thing.
So for the viewers, Marianna and I used to work together. Well, we actually didn't. We worked at the same radio station way back in the day. Look, I'm saying way back in the day.
Yeah.
Way back in the day. 103.5 The Bomb in Sacramento. And she did middays there. And then I went on to go to Kwin in Stockton. And I came back to Sacramento in 2016. And I saw all of the work that she was doing. Marianna, she had a poetry thing going. She had she was doing bags and giving bags to homeless people in the community, helping the young women. She's always moving. And it was so interesting the way that we reconnected, because she had done my mother-in-law's hair, and my mother-in-law had an Orgon energy battery. And Marianna was so in love with it that my mother-in-law went ahead and just took it off and gave it to her. And then like years later after that, me and Marianna see each other at some club in the bathroom. I remember that. And it was just like, you know, I hadn't seen her in forever. And so it was just amazing how these things happen. Go off again. Marianna's doing her thing. All of a sudden, we come back together. And just recently, Marianna has an event that she hosts here in Sacramento. Is called Women's Wellness Fellowship. And she's going to tell us more about where that came from. But I was invited to go to the one that happened, to the second one that happened. The first one happened last month. This one in November just happened. And it was the most amazing experience for me to be able to see in action the work that she's doing. It was a lot of women entrepreneurs, women that are ready to make changes in their lives and in the community. And so I was so impacted by that night that I told Orisha Bemi, we gotta bring her so she could spread the word about what she's doing and see how we can help her in other ways. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Marianna. Welcome.
Boy, you know how to do an introduction. I'm gonna have to take you on the road with me. I gotta put you on the look. That was incredible. I was like, whoa, that sounds amazing. No, but it's all real and good. Like, right? Like I think that's the sweetest part of the fruit, you know, when it actually, you know, it comes from an authentic and organic space. Everybody wants the organic fruit over everything else. So all of those things are true. And it's beautiful to be in partnership with you in this iteration of our life. And I'm grateful to be here with the Ase space and, you know, just really ready to share what I have with all of your appreciators. So I'm here and I'm for it.
Ase. Oh, that's what's up.
So can you talk a little bit about the Wellness Women's Group and how that derived from the Men's Fellowship?
Yeah, so Brother Kariga and Brother Chris, rooted from Oakland and also working in Sacramento, they created this space for the men, the Men's Wellness Fellowship. In the last 3-4 years, they've been facilitating in Oakland and Sacramento. and they're doing these amazing gatherings where, you know, you're seeing the uncles and the brothers and the papas and the young men and the young bulls. You're seeing everybody, you know, come together. And for the most part, all of us ladies were kind of at home, like, you know, wow, this is just so great. They're doing their healing work, and look at them having their gatherings and their talks. And, you know, just as aunties and sisters and mothers and wives, we were watching. And, you know, it's one thing when you see a dope event from another city or another country from afar, but when it's in your own backyard, you take it personal. It's personal to you. And so we were all feeling that feeling. And I just reached out to my brother Karika, and I was like, look, we're proud of you. We're grateful that you're taking up this space to do this very special, nuanced style of healing for brothers in the community. And we need, the sisterhood chapter needs to exist. And I'm here to facilitate it. And so we did what we needed to do to connect. And now we're 2 months in. So it has been amazing, the last 2 facilitations. And, you know, those gatherings is where the healing is going to happen for this nation and for civilization. It's in those gatherings of sisterhood and brotherhood, and eventually us, you know, co-conspiring to bring about our medicine and our magic in a healthy way for the new changes that are coming to this planet. So I'm just grateful to be able to have women come through, whether they're entrepreneurs, whether they're therapists, whether they're mamas, you know, employees, just trying to find some inspiration to navigate through their personal development, their professional development, but just overall their human growth and development. And so we do mental health activities, we do mixers, we do minglers. I am really big on taking theory and putting it into practice. And so I want to make sure that anything that I ever facilitate includes activities. And so when I saw Kariga facilitating in his natural, organic way, I was like, oh, this is a concept that I don't need to do separately. We can build in partnership and move forward with it. So that's really what it is, and how I'm throwing down with the Women's Wellness Fellowship. We meet monthly, and we're 2 months in.
Ache.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Demi,
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
do you have any questions?
I do. I got a lot of them, but look, I don't want to take them all. I don't want to take it over. So,
Oh, I'm here for both of y'all. I don't know what you're
you are
talking about.
welcome.
I'm here for the double scoop of love. I don't know what y'all talking about. This is all goodness. So we all gonna share in this fufu. We gonna share in this Ethiopian pinch. We all gonna put our hands in this pot and get dirty. Come on.
Yeah, listen, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of this caramel on top of this Ase Sunday.
Let's go.
I got plenty of it. So
let's go.
So I'm gonna say it straight up. So I don't really I ain't gonna say intimidated, but I don't really feel like I get intimidation is not the right word. I'll say I don't really get impressed, or I don't really get kind of like flabbergasted, like just bewildered, or I don't get those types of things too often when I speak to people. But on that brief call that we had yesterday, the introduction call, I'm like, I know I'm a hustler. Like, I'm a hustler. I work a lot. I hustle a lot. But when we was talking, I'm like, yo, I got to step my game up, man. I ain't working hard enough. Like, you doing major work, like work. I'm like, I gotta bring it up. So with that, what would you define a social wellness leader? Because I got a chance to check out your IG and see some of your work, and I love especially the community work with the youth. That's something I have. But you do a lot more than that. So how would you like define, or even just put some sort of context for the audience, together for what a social wellness leader is?
So in terms of a social wellness leader, when I show up to do my work, what that means when I'm actually moving in that way, in that style, I'm a social wellness practitioner. And it's my job to give people places to practice the different modalities in communication and social engagement, whether it's your personal work, what you do with yourself, each other, in groups. It's my job to make that cool to do that work. So number one, I'm a culture bearer, right? Because this is not new. This is what all of our yayas, our babas, our iyas, everybody's been doing this. It's just our time to carry it for our generation, right? So I'm a culture bearer in the sense that I'm always working from a space of spiritual high culture. You know what I'm saying? And when we talk about spiritual high culture, we're not making that a denominational thing. We're not segmenting it and feeling that one is any better or than the other. We're able to see that the ancestors of all walks of life have left us some astrology, some cosmology, some symbolism, some, you know, some nature, left us all of these things to learn from. So I take from that spiritual high culture and I bring it down to the earth and a very down to earth approach with people. So a lot of the times when people are doing activities and engagements, we're learning cultural continuity, right? We're continuing the culture, but I'm shape-shifting it in the way that people of every day can take that theory and practice of all of those morals and values and principles. Because sometimes it feels very separate from us, right?
Yes.
We'll read about it. We'll be enamored by the scholars who can understand it. We'll look at all the documentaries. We'll dive into it, but we don't know. We're supposed to extract that information so that we can keep from strangling each other, so that we can start actually function in unity and heal some of the distrust that we have been trained to having. Those take practices.
Yes.
And so what I do is I create those high level engagement experiences with multiple activities, multiple ways to give social, emotional impacts so that we can take that theory, we can turn that ancient African wisdom and spirituality into day-to-day practice, not just when we're in garb and not just when we're in ceremony, but every day working with our children, working with our mamas and our daddies and our sisters and our brothers. All of these things take practice because we didn't get this in school. And so we got to preserve where we get it from spiritual high culture. We got to get it from the aunties and the uncles and the OGs and the big mamas. We got to extract as much as we can before they become ancestors and we don't get that practice. So I am really here to teach social wellness practices that will allow us to really, really do the restoration of our people to our traditional greatness, right? And so that's what I love to do. I work with all ages. I work with all backgrounds. As long as you have an open mind and heart and you are able to step with Ma'at and uphold truth, justice, and righteousness in all aspects of engagements, everything will make it do what it do if we have those basic ingredients. And so I'm here to stir up that pot and allow people to feel interactive. And I just love it. I do. I really love customizing activities for the groups that I work with.
Yes, sir. Ashe. Now, and I see it. You know, I see it just from the work. You know, and it's funny because you have a skill set that I see that's, for me personally, I always like see things and I always try to like compartmentalize or use some sort of analogy or metaphor to kind of paint the picture to where it makes sense to me, right? Almost like hieroglyphs, right? So when I hear you talk and I hear you speak, but then seeing some of your work that you've done, I cannot help but see the energy and the conviction and the Ashe, the power of a Malcolm, right? But then at the same time, you have that energy and that like go getter, like you ready to go, like I mean high energy, like the sister. I can't remember her name. She's an elder, but she was in like the Hidden Colors series, at least the first one for sure. Dang, what is her name? I can't think of her name. Oh my gosh.
You're going to remember at 2 in the morning. You're going to remember
listen,
her name.
It's infuriating me right now, but
That's
somebody in
okay.
the tribe will know her name. The sister
She's going to tap on you in a minute. She's going to tap on you in a minute.
Yeah, man. But you got like a blend of both of them, kind of like Outkast, how they come together. I just see that kind of energy and that vibe, because that's what made me have the thought of having the title of being like the Divine Feminine Energy, Boots on the Ground, because you really are doing, you know, boots on the ground work. You know, you putting in work like what I would say like the elders or the ancestors now from the Haitian Revolution, like the Cecilia Fatimas and the, you know what I'm saying, like the women of the movement. And it's like Professor Kaba always says, if you have a rebellion or a revolution and you don't have the women involved, you just got a street fight. That's not a revolution. You can't have a revolution unless you have the participation of the divine feminine. So I give gratitude to both of y'all for bringing that here so we can continue to build this network of a revolutionary channel. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that.
Mahri, you did that. You did that. Thank you for this connection in this holy trinity right here. This is a good feeling.
Hey, I got to give it to Spirit, because they said one of the things that made me want to connect both of you is that it is the spirituality aspect of it, because you guys both share in a very traditional form of spirituality, and we all know that spirituality is not something that is not of us. It's not
Right.
a trend. It's not, we can't separate from it. However, what you both bring to the table in the way that you do your own practice is the authenticity of what this spiritual practice is, and it's not intimidating. Meaning, you know, in my time where I would see, look, I was scared of babalaos. Don't even do not play with me. I was scared, and yeah, all the time. And so it was just a different kind of energy. And so now it's like, back in the day, it was like you could not speak to them, right?
Yeah.
Unless you were worthy, unless you were. So it's like now, and with what you guys bring, you make it very comfortable for people to inquire and for you to live your practice without it being something that, oh, you must do this and you must have this way of the Baba and the Orishas. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it gives people a freedom to be who they are authentically and to connect to their spirituality. So I want to ask you, Marianna, from, okay, because radio days was radios, it was hip hop all day. Like, we wasn't thinking about no spiritual stuff. When did it hit you that you said, I have to do something? When was that for you?
In terms of spiritual work and my practice?
Yes.
So I was born in a community of activists and artists. And so they always doing something, right? Like, you know, if you a real activist and you a real artist and you come from a household like that, you always doing something. You always doing a community event. You know, you're always at a show or a practice or a performance. So for the way my mother cultivated me in such a, right? Even though we were born in the conditions of the hood and the impacts that poverty has, she was so creative about carving out sacred spaces for me to find out that I'm an artist and to be able to perform, right? Any community activities, any, you know, community enrichment programs. She could find it. And she would put me in these really amazing opportunities. Schools, you know, John Still Center for Creative Expression. That was like fame in my hood. You know what I'm saying? So I had access to performing arts, singing, theater, choir, video production. Like, that was a really big deal. So I was always active. She always kept me active. And then when I turned 9 years old, she found her pathway to Wose Community Church, or Wose Community Center. And that is, you know, has been in Oakland and started in the 80s. And is really a center for African spirituality in terms of thought, right? And that spiritual high culture that I come from. So it is rooted in Kemet, and it is rooted in the ancestry and the stories, you know, and all of the biomimicry that we get from it, right? To teach us how to be in a social order that is fair and full of ma'at, truth, justice, and righteousness. So that's my root, right? So coming up in that space of spirituality, and then, you know, having access, I didn't have to wait to go to a HBCU to learn who I was, right? I didn't have to, at 9 years old, I was knowing, you know, the morals, the values, and the principles of ancient, sacred African spiritual high culture. So of course, you know, in my 20s, I veered from it when I became a hip hop artist and, you know, did all the things that I needed to do to figure out that is the light, that is the path, I want to live it and choose it for myself. But ultimately, I was raised in it. And so I guess to answer your question, it would be, I was born into it, but I really took it on as an ancestral obligation, right? To really walk that path, probably like in my late 20s. My late 20s is when I was like, okay, you was given this gift of, you know, performance art. You was given this gift of facilitation and teaching and leadership and activism. What are you going to take people to do now? Where are you leading people to? And so that's when I was like, wow, this is a great responsibility. It's not enough that I could just flex any mic, any crowd, anywhere. Where am I taking them to? And how am I using this gift to be of service? And so I would say about late 20s is when I really started doing activism for my own fruition, not just because I came from a household that was about it like that. Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, you know, I ain't gonna skip that. You was an artist. You was rocking the mic. Like, You was spitting rhymes?
Oh yeah, I was. You know what? And what's so funny is I wouldn't remember one of them songs right now if you put the shit on in my face. I would not remember none of them lyrics. It was, you know what? It was like training ground. Hip
Uh-huh.
hop for me, it was culturally was my training ground to find my confidence. Because as a female MC, you got to be able to nudge your shoulder in between some big boys and get your voice loud. You know what I'm saying? You got to be
Mhm.
confident in whatever you say. When you spit
Yeah.
bars, whether you freestyling or whether you're doing something written, you got to be confident as a woman. So hip hop taught me that. I don't get bad nerves. I don't get nervous about people. I don't care what status you are. You on this planet with me learning your lessons just like I am. So even if I'm a junior and you're a senior, we in this thing together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it
Yes,
taught
ma'am.
me how to have the ability to be in front of any person at any time and drop wisdom, whether it's to a beat or not. I'm still rhyming. I'm still rhyming. I'm still dropping bars. I'm still dropping wisdom. I'm still in the cipher. But hip hop taught me that. Poetry taught me that. Theater taught me that. There's a difference between performing and being.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And when you're in theater, are you really conjuring the spirit, or you just acting like the spirit?
Right.
Because when you conjure the spirit, you cracking that ori wide open and you
Ooh.
letting yourself be of complete service. And so for me at 21, when I started realizing the power and the magic in that, I was like, I got to be responsible with this. I got to be responsible. And so that's what I've been doing from my 20s up to 46. I'm learning how to be responsible with my gift and how to use it.
I tell you,
Yes.
there's something really powerful about that, because as you were speaking about it, what I'm thinking about is the power of the woman, the power of the matriarch. And when you were doing your rhyming, when you was doing your thing, that was your training ground, as you stated. And this energy that we have as women, and this the creative essence that comes from us, is what prepares us for other things. It's just like, I thought that I was gonna be like this famous singer or whatever, but then I learned that all of that singing and all of that doing was preparing me for now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like the song, the music doesn't stop. I got over 100 songs that nobody knows anything about.
Right.
It is
Right.
my connection with source. And in doing that, because a lot of people think, okay, if I'm a singer, that means that I just gotta sing. No, if you're a singer, sing, but do it for yourself. Do it so that it comes out of your body and you allow for that frequency to do what it needs to do in your world. So
Yeah.
I mean, watching you, and look, she's an MC. She also does hair, which is very, very important, because a lot of people think, oh, a person that does hair, whatever, those hands that are touching the oris, the crowns of the people, and giving them that rhyme that she be giving them when she's talking to them. I watch her, and it's so funny because it gives me chills. I watch her, and I watch her with the young people. That's the one that impacts me the most, is to see the effects that she has on these young people. Some of these young people that are just so closed and shut down. Like, you already know what it's like in the hood when you're not trying to fool with nobody.
Yeah.
And so Marianna could get those ones that don't want to fool with nobody. So I appreciate that in your work and what you do. And I know that that's been part of, your ride, doing what
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah. It's interesting because when I first started teaching, I was teaching safety awareness and crisis prevention. I became a master lecturer at teaching people the mental shift to being able to accept the fact that if we're going to say things like Babylon's fallen, that means we probably need to get prepared, right?
Yeah.
Like we need to start getting into a way of life that should certain systems not be in place, what systems do we have within ourselves? And so that has that if you really look at it, even when I'm teaching young people, when I'm teaching teachers and professors, when I'm teaching global leaders, the bottom line is I am here to help them facilitate mastering their gift and using it for good. That's it. That's really what I'm here to do. Whether you're a little kid and you get access to me from middle school and high school, I'm trying to get you to be able to tap in. And I can do that with any age. That's one of my superpowers. I have several superpowers. And one of my superpowers is I can talk to any person of any background and get them to see the authenticity that's freaking contagious.
Yeah.
My authenticity is contagious. Because even for a person who, like you said, those young people who usually have that block up, when you have the gift of authenticity and people see it, they like, dang, it's not even perfect, but it's so real. I got to show up real too. So a lot of the times with the kids, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to come at them with an authoritative disposition. I'm firm, just like I'm firm, because I'm a firm spirit, right? I'm firm with them, but what I'm commanding out of them is the divinity. And I know how to do it in the language of whatever person that I'm talking to. So when you see me break that wall down with them youth, they looking like, dang, I can't do nothing but respect her, because she's literally 1000% real. And that means I don't have to be perfect. And so they just open up to me. It's a gift. And I know I have to be responsible with it.
I love that. I love that ish. Shout out to Divine Grace, because I knew the tribes were gonna come through, man. It was Sister Shazadi Ali. That's a tongue twister. But that's what
Shahrazad Ali.
yeah,
Yes.
Shahrazad Ali.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
you're talking
that's
about.
why I was like, you got some of that energy. I picked up
I'll
on
take
some of that, man.
auntie energy. Put that on
Yes,
my
sir.
head.
I love her. Look, I love her. But nah, I love that too, because that's one of the things I love when I go and speak to the youth, because when you said about when they hear authenticity, it makes them naturally gravitate to you. And some of them, it might take a little while. That'd be the ones who really be, you know what I'm saying, the ones that just, no matter what you say or do, they like, nah, I don't give a man, F that. You know what I'm saying? I don't give that. But those ones I go after, because those are the ones who are the leaders more times than not, who are the influencers, right? So the authenticity thing, I agree with everything you said 1,000,000%. But another thing that I'll tell you too is not only that do they hear it, but people feel that. Like that's the one thing I learned from the very beginning of my public speaking journey, was like authenticity, relatability, and just being real. And people feel that. And when people feel that, they can't help but to gravitate towards you, because they're like, well, damn, what is it about this? You know what I'm saying? It's something they saying, or something like with the delivery or the passion or whatever it is that you're transmitting, that energy is being felt. And even with podcast, you like, people can feel you, you know, through the technology, people can feel that. So it's like, that's
that passion is real. And you know, when we are operating at our most highest divine passionate self, we are practicing spiritual high culture. And what I get, you know, sometimes people trip because they like, dang, you just talked to homeboy, you know, he banging. You just talked to a girl, you know, she on. If my spiritual high culture can't be received by somebody on the block, to the boardroom, to the bush, then it ain't real.
That's fact.
I should be able to apply it in any environment. If I really trust and believe in the faith of my principles, my morals, and my values, they should be able to guide how I communicate with any human being on this planet Earth. And it's my job to create activities and practices for us to know, what does that look like? When it says being a divine person, right? Does that mean, right? Exactly. Wichita says you are God. So how are we human beings being God? Right. And that's how we got to undo a lot of these negative practices for all the atrocities that have stripped us from those principles that have us be able to socially engage and unify. The things, those beautiful monuments that we praise in the Holy Lands, they wasn't built with disunity. They wasn't built with lack of cooperation. They wasn't built without collective work and responsibility. They wasn't built without cooperative economics. They wasn't built without those principles in place. A lot of beings had to come together and work at a cultural and spiritual high level that allowed them to not be as destructive as we are to each other. And we are very destructive to each other based off of the programming that has been being placed on us. So it's my job to give us those healthy environments where we can figure that out and not have no weird folks of other communities coming in, governing it, funding it, right? Taking it away, threatening it, remixing it, appropriating it. I'm here to be a culture bearer and to show us what that civilization within is, so we can have that civilization with each other and get really busting a move. So I make it fun. That's the thing. I make you cry when you do it. I make it fun when you do it. We explore so many areas that we have been needing healing, that everybody just shows up with a completely open heart chakra. There's not one person that walks away, even the most skeptical one. They're going to give me that grin. They're going to give me that head nod. They're going to give me that ashe, or they're going to be the one talking their butt off at the end because they needed it the most. So I love it. And I really had to realize for a long time, I didn't want to say that I'm a minister. I didn't want to say that. For anybody that gets that on their head, even if they know they got the spark and the magic, there's a moment where you really got to grapple with it because of the responsibility in it. And I'm just now in these last few years getting prepared to even take on what that really means, because I can't use it for nothing but good at this point.
Oh, that's right.
You know, it's interesting that you talk about you talk about minister and the ministry. I feel when I went to the wellness event, the Women's Wellness Fellowship, that's what I felt like. I felt like it was church, right? And it was church in a way where it was just so powerful in the fact that, you know, you're calling people in the community and you're saying, who does this? I mean, there was a woman who was offering a month of nutritional services for people because she doesn't want to see people eating the garbage, the Doritos, all of the stuff that is marketed to our people all the time, right? And so she's doing something about it. So at this event, it was just amazing to see the different people step up and say, I'm doing this in my community and I want to help out. You know? And it's a very, very powerful thing, especially in the fact that people are going away from traditional religion. People are tired of that shit because it's been bullshit from the beginning. And so now it's a new way of fellowship. It's the way.
You know, what's interesting to me too is I'm very intentional about the activities and the themes and the theory and the practice that I'm bringing forth. I'm very intentional. When I'm creating experiences for social engagement, social exploration, social healing, I'm very intentional to make sure that people have the ability to, number one, level the learning field. Because a lot of us are coming from different dispositions, experiences, backgrounds, and cultures. We are all mingled in. So some traditions are different than the others, and that sometimes divides us. So it's my job to create social experiences that don't matter what your particular preference of spiritual walk is at the time. It don't matter. Because if it does what it does, if your Christianity make it do what it do down to the heart chakra of being Christ-like and using that particular power, then I'm with you. Because that's not going to have you hurt me or hurt you. If you follow Yahweh, if you follow Buddha, if you wherever spirituality speaks from you from at that particular time, it should not keep us from being able to be supreme beings to each other. And so we got to unlearn a lot of just the hatred, the loathing, the anxiety, the depression, a lot of the conditions that keeps us from being agitated and frustrated and short-tempered with each other and disrespectful to each other. We can't have a disagreement without becoming enemies. Like, we got to get over that. We ain't building no new world if every time somebody don't do you right because you don't know how to negotiate properly and have entry and exit plans for relationships and projects, then you're gonna be fighting with everybody and falling out all the time. So I teach entrepreneurs. That's one thing I teach entrepreneurs. How do you create the soul contracts that you need to create while you getting the paper contracts done? Everybody's given all the game and the emphasis as an entrepreneur, how to make the money. I'm here to teach you how to make the health, make the abundance for you as you're facilitating making money. So a lot of times people start off with health and wellness, then they turn it into a bag and abandon it. Right? After you get a little money, right? And you kind of reach some goals, the hunger for being authentic to it starts to waver a little bit. So it's my job to work with entrepreneurs and leaders and activists who are in positions of leadership and community. It's my job to coach them, to teach them how to be accountable. Because our leaders, we have to be held accountable too. We have to have a wise counsel that we report to. It can't just be based off the fact that we famous and we got a lot of appreciators, because then some of our behaviors will go unchecked. So that is where we do the work. And I do it with all people, but I especially like doing it with people with leaderships, retreats. People hire me to do those kind of things because they really want to do the transformational work for real. And they want that spiritual element, but also that down to earth, get up, make a plan, get to it accountability too. So, you know, you're going to be gassed up. I'm here to gas people up. I'm here to fill people's tank up. Put the battery in your back. That's what I'm here for.
I love it. I love it. I look. You did that to me yesterday, boy. I'm telling you, you're doing it now. I'm for real though, because you can't help but to appreciate and respect that energy, especially when you know what I'm saying, that you feel it. And that's what goes back to what I was saying earlier. And I love that. So now I want to go into a couple of directions where I think I would love to hear your perspective on, because when you talk about unity, and that's what my goal is with, with this channel, or Spirit using me as the the vessel for the medium, or I should say the messenger of this channel. But the goal is unity, it's collaboration over competition, right? Nation building, right? But there is so many, I feel like, parasitical behaviors or thoughts or mindsets that some of us deal with, where we always have to have some type of Africa versus America, or Kemet versus Ifa, or Christians versus Muslim. Like, it's always some sort of goddamn competition or battle of verses. What would you say to the listening audience about the cons of that, not wanting to collaborate over, competing with one another?
Well, I mean, the cause is colonialism. Let's really call it what it is. The cause is colonialism. Colonialism has taught us that we have to be some sort of monolith, and we're not. We're not. We're multi-dimensional superpowers and beings, like having this melanated experience. So when we really start looking at that on a metaphysical level, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to empower somebody on a metaphysical level and then have them go back to being divided. So I am here to cater to the divine in people, period, no matter what their particular faith walk is. And so I think that divide, that colonialism, has us believing and thinking that we all have to have the same entry point and approach to being a African spiritualist. Like, that's crazy. That's the byproduct of colonialism, and it's just a unique way of dividing us. These are superpowers that we're from all these different African spiritual cultures. These are superpowers. Y'all go every time, everybody that log off of this thing, they're gonna be talking about their superpowers. Those are superpowers, to be able to have different kinds of juju, different kinds of magic, different kind of medicine. We don't all need the same kind of medicine. If I need somebody that knows how to lay hands on me, that's different from somebody that knows how to read my Ori. I need all the different medicine. So it has to be holistic. So when we talk about holistic, we're not just talking about, I do downward dog, I eat kale, I go to hiking, right? I'm in the elite high spiritual club. No, this means, how is it showing up in everyday life?
Yes.
How is this showing up in everyday life if we didn't have the shells in the shimmer and the shine and the followers? How are we going to rebuild? So that divide of colonialism was very intentional to keep us disempowered, dismembered, and not putting all the gumbo of all the spiritual, cultural walks of life. Bring all the denominations. Just be real about what you're supposed to practice, and not the dysfunction. Strip it down to the principles. And if the principles don't hurt me or don't hurt you, we are all good. Bring it.
100%.
Mahri, do you have any questions? Look, because I don't want to be a ball hog, so let me make sure I'm equally distributing.
She can snatch the ball. She know how to snatch the ball. Take that. Oh, don't take that. You know what I meant. Oh,
yeah.
I want to give a shout out to the unique tribe. Goddess Energy is through the ceiling. Yes, it is through the ceiling today. This is a very powerful movement.
I say I'm in
right now, and I'm getting chills. I have to, I want to, and I never met him, but I know that he is a great part of what's happening in Marianna's life and in our lives right now. And I want to say Ache to your Baba, Marianna, your Baba, that I felt his energy so strong, and know that he's definitely a part of what is happening. Of course, your movement, that's your Baba. And so you are doing him so proud, girl. Yes, you are.
Thank you, sis.
One of the things that's really, fascinating to me is the way that spirit and our ancestors are so connected to us right now, more so than they ever have been. Because for things to work out the way that they have, you would think that I've known Orisha Bemi for like 100 years. We just met.
Oh, yeah. Well, when old souls meet, we be, shoot, that's a different kind of dimensional love. The love that goes beyond time and space. Them kind of people, when you meet, you lock in instantly.
Yes.
It's no mind games. It's no ill intention. It's pure. Everybody knows when something pure. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. When something pure, everybody loves the pure. Don't nobody want to water down nothing. So when we meet, when ancient souls meet that have gone through their incarnations and gotten to a level where when I see you, I know you. There
Yes.
ain't no time to waste.
There
We
ain't
ain't got
no
no
time
time
to
to waste.
Yeah.
No.
Nah.
Let's
My
bust
son-
a move. How
I
are
was-
we supposed to serve each other and be
Yes.
of service to each other and service the world? Because I want to be treated well. So
Yeah.
I want to be surrounded by all the people with all of the divine Ashe. I want to be that. I want my universal and global family to be popping. Because I take good care of mine. So
Yeah.
I want people that love taking good care of me, and then we all taken care of.
That's real. It's funny. I was just having a conversation today with another healer that me and Mahri will be working with later, like in the near future. And we were talking about something similar, but to me, I equate it as the work, like the special forces. So if you look at each military branch, in the Navy, you got the SEALs, the Army, you got the Range. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like right now is the time where the creator sent the special forces in to come and get this issue right.
But the special forces already been here. That's the thing. It's just our turn to carry it out.
Yeah.
And a lot of us are slacking. A lot of us are sleeping on our gifts. A lot of us are sleeping on our talents.
Yes.
A lot of us are sleeping on the contributions that we're supposed to be giving to restoring and doing the healing. We selfish. A lot of us say, I want to do my healing. No, we're here to do all of each other's healing. You have a gift that I need particularly. I got a gift that you need particularly. We got to enhance those gifts and give each other the medicine we need so that as we are in battle and war with all of these powers that be trying to keep us from dismembered, disconnected, we have to be able to be strong enough to withstand that. And that takes practice. And that's my game. That's my hustle. That's my shine. I'm here to make sure we get all the practice and we get it in. So when we go outside, we making them morals and principles work for real.
Absolutely. 100%. When I saw Marianna again, it was just so funny because she comes to the lair and it was like, all right, let's get it. And it was like there was no conversations that needed, you know what I'm saying? It's like you get there, you know what to do, so you just get going. You know,
you know what?
And
my time is of the essence in this meat suit. Like you say, meat suit all the time. Time is of the essence. And I know I'm here for an assignment. I ain't got time to be playing with nobody. And if I do got time to play, it's the intentional time that I'm taking to play, not to be played with. I'm not here to be played with. I played with my life enough. You at my younger years, right? I've had people play with me. So playing, unless it's healthy, fun, safe playing, I don't want no parts of it. I don't want no parts of it. So when I meet like minds, like hearts, like spirit, my whole conversation is how are we to be of service to each other in reciprocity? You know what I'm saying? That's it. If we ain't talking about that, I don't really got time to be petty friends. My friends are ambitious. My friends are fulfilling their goals and their gifts, and we are doing it big. You know what I'm saying? And that don't mean we don't have hard times. That don't mean we're not doing our work on the planet that we're here to do, to be challenged and get our butts knocked off. But we got them morals and values and principles that'll get us back on track. Because that's when life gets bad. And that's when you don't do your fetching of your gift. When you don't do your fetching on the planet that you're supposed to evolve with, that's when life gets hard. You get off track, and Isfat and Shaitan, everything else is gonna get your butt. So I'm just trying to stay away from that. So every time I serve my purpose, usually everything works out, even when it's bad and it's a hard time. It usually works out when I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm just trying to be obedient. That's it.
I know that's right.
I don't want no unnecessary problems.
I know that's right. Listen. And even in them rough times, though, matter of fact, we was just talking about that on our last stream, Mahri, about like life, when life be life, and when life hits you with them haymakers, man, it's like that's okay, because if all I got to do is win, to win in life is to fight, then let's get it, because I ain't never been scared to fight, you know what I'm saying? But it's like in the hard times, I feel like those are the times where we have to make sure that we control the moment and don't let the moment control us. You know what I'm saying? And when we kind of have that stance, that's when things work out in our favor. Even when it seems rough, it feels like that. I feel like the creator or the ancestors, whoever the guys are, they put us in those positions for us to learn that lesson. As soon as we get that lesson, that's when we get the door open and she'll be like, "Go ahead, come through." So.
But I know I came here to get my ass whooped a little bit. I know I came to the planet Earth. I don't know what I did in my other lifetimes before in other dimensions, but I know, because you know what I'm saying? Some of these life lessons, I'd be like, wait a minute now. I signed up for this. I put this in my silent contract. Wait a minute. When am I going to learn this lesson? So we need practice. We came to this planet to practice divinity in this form. And so clearly something that we're supposed to get out of this earthly experience is going to help us when we ascend up out of here.
That's it.
And if I do got to come back, I don't want to come back working harder than I had to work this time. So let me do the best I can this round.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One of the things, is so many things, but one of the things that also made me feel really good about connecting you two and connecting all of us is that the internet is making people lose their mind. Like you got people that are on the internet all the live long day. And so they're doing all of their work just on the internet, right? And the internet is a whole nother world. And so to see, because I know that Orisha Bemi does a lot of on the boots, on the ground work, and you do a lot of on the ground work. And that's so important at this time because they are making people very accustomed to the internet, very accustomed to being in their phones so that you can be more disconnected. And there's going to be a time, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but they're going to turn the lights out. And when they turn the lights out, there's going to be a lot of people that are just used to being on the internet that they're not going to know what to do. So you're going to be needing a community, a physical community that you can connect with so that you can grow with. So what I want to ask you, Marianna, if somebody is in another state and they want to do a women's wellness fellowship in the same vein that you're doing it, with the same kind of, with the structure that you have, is that possible? Is that how?
Well, you get what you negotiate. That's how I feel. So if you you know what I'm saying, reach out and we create and negotiate what we need to do to make that happen. We could do that. Anybody can go to my website anytime. They could book any kind of experience they want, whether it's one-on-one coaching or if you have an organization that you want facilitation, training, any of that. So I'm touchable. This is what I do. So let's put out all the requirements together to make it happen, and they can reach out for sure. And that doesn't necessarily have to be the Women's Wellness Fellowship. It could be any type of facilitation that you want to customize. I've had people bring me out for family reunions.
Nice.
Right. So we could get as creative as we need to be to facilitate the experience for, the process and the internal work.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you said that, the family reunions, because as far as your business and what you do, it's not just, a thing of, yes, we're healing all the time, but you're an MC. Yeah, you a master of ceremonies. And so you know how to bring the people and the occasion, whatever the occasion is, you use your little superpowers and you sprinkle them with what is needed in that occasion, and you're able to bring them an experience that they never thought they would have had.
I just want to make sure that everybody's soul eat when they come, and when you look at the ancestors in Kemetic tradition, when they talk about, to eat something, it means to absorb, it means to take in, right? So I want to make sure that we're all eating from a good source. We talk about that with food, right? Like, hey, you want to eat from the organic, you want to eat from things that aren't chemically engineered. I'm trying to make sure that we're not eating in the social engagements of each other where we're eating each other alive. A lot of the programming is just built to make us be so petty with each other and clap backish with each other. Even the rappers, everything about the rappers is you ain't shit and I'm better. Like, damn, we can't be confident individually and collectively. Like, why is there always this undertone and taste and flavor of, like, you know what I'm saying, competition? That's programming.
Yes.
You got to pick 100 bells and I'm going to pick 150 bells. You know what I'm saying? And white man will give me one glass of cool water and you don't. That's the kind of stuff we got to break away from. The jealousy that we have. These are all mental, emotional byproducts of us being treated less than human. So to humanize ourselves, to restore our civilization, to restore humanity, the same amount of work that went into breaking those morals and those values and treating each other well and being kind and not being so nasty and petty, that takes practice. And that's going to be the theme of today. What is the practice that is going to help us? So when it's go time, whether it's when the lights go out or whether we just tired of all the crazy toxicity and we don't wait till the lights go out, we have to be able to have the practice in dealing with each other.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? One of my brothers the other day, he was like, man, I'm so tired of going to, the black owned restaurants and the service towards each other is awful. Like just the way, you know what I'm saying? Just the standard and how we serve each other. We have to do better, and that takes practice. I'm here to teach people of any age how to get that practice to be civil, to bring out humanity, and to really apply the theory of what the ancestors has and all that wisdom, not just exonerate it and romanticize it. We don't need to romanticize nothing. The root of that is Roman. We don't need to Romanize anything.
Nothing.
To Romanize means something that you taking, you stripping, you raping, right? So we don't need to romanticize Afrocentricity. We need to practice it. And practicing it is what is going to heal us.
Yes, sir. Dropping mics all over the goddamn place.
We'll
never say it's getting hot in here, boy. It's getting hot in here.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo. Yes, sir. So listen, when you was on that dropping them bombs, man, you made me think of something. Shout out to Dr. Wade Nobles, man, because this book right here is a powerful, powerful piece of work. And Island of Means by Dr. Wade Nobles.
Oh.
And what triggered it for me is when you were talking about, you know, the programming, but also like the way that we take on this personification as if like their culture is our culture, when that's not the case. But because I feel like we're conditioned by it so often, like a lot of us fall victim to that conditioning, right? But chapter 1, he talks about the Saku and the Black psychology and the psychology of dehumanization. And so the island of memes, he's talking about memes. We talk about memes, we're looking at social media, we think about all these memes that we're seeing, right? But this whole entire construct is set up with nothing but memes, even the dollar bill. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that we look at, it's a meme to kind of keep us in that dehumanized format or frequency. So how can we elevate up out of that? Is healing the necessity? Or like what would you consider to be the best way for us to elevate out of that frequency?
I think it's real important for us to not over sensationalize and evangelize the things that we need to do. I think that what happens is we have all of the different modalities and practices that are there. We ain't the only ones out here doing this work, y'all. It's a lot of us doing the culture freedom work, right? But I think sometimes we focus on, I'm not saying we don't need to do healing, but to me, a person is healed when their basic needs are met faster than someone who's fed a lot of rhetoric and theory and esoteric knowledge, right? If somebody's belly is grumbling and you know what I'm saying, and you feed them or give them the means to feed themselves, if somebody's in poverty, they don't care about all them scriptures. They don't care about all them scholars.
That's
They
right.
don't care about all them books. You can't value spiritual high culture when your body is dysregulated, right? So I personally think that it's not about pausing the healing. We got to have that. But I think there needs to be more of an introduction of how to restore value systems, because a person is going to do what they value, good or bad, right or wrong. Our value systems are screwed up. So yeah, a lot of emphasis is put on the healing, but you can't value the healing. The healing could be there, but if you don't value it, you're not going to do it for real, for real. You're going to do it performative online. You're going to be doing it because you got the nicest garb and you go to Africa a million times. You a hip hop, you know what I'm saying, head. Like those are the things that we hide behind. Are we really doing the work? You know what I'm saying? So I think more emphasis needs to be taken off of the healing, but we got to, again, stop romanticizing stuff, because right now people are memorizing, you know what I'm saying, pop culture psychology on all this stuff. And then they can't be accountable because they too fluff. Like, no, you got to be strong and resilient. This world is not a safe space. So everybody running around talking about, I need a safe space. You got to learn how to make yourself safe. You got to learn how to be safe with yourself. So you can't engage with other people safely if you don't know how to engage with yourself safely. And so a lot of this disrespect with lack of confidence, a lot of this disrespect to ourselves with self-doubt, imposter syndrome, all that is programming. And if we don't sit down and have engagements and activities, social wellness engagements, we have to re-socialize ourselves. We have to re-socialize ourselves. At 3 and 4 years old, we are beginning to be socialized. So I got to go back and we got to rewind and do those activities to learn what we didn't get in kindergarten, what we didn't get in elementary. Well, we were so busy fighting a system of white supremacy, we couldn't be human. We couldn't be civil. So those are the things that we have to do more and more, not just focus on the healing, but focus on the access. The access to the opportunity of seeing and experiencing the value system. That means you're going to feed me, you're going to clothe me, and you're going to take care of my kids. Now I can focus. That's why the brothers in the nation, you got to give it to them. They clean families up.
Yeah.
That's one thing that we could say from that particular group of divine people is that you got to get your house in order.
Yeah.
You got to have some discipline.
Yeah.
You got to have some structure. So there needs to be more emphasis on that, because that regulates the system and then allows you to absorb, to eat the wisdom of the ancestors, to eat the wisdom of the structure for us to continue to restore ourselves to our traditional greatness. I don't know if the healing is the only thing. I think we need to add a little bit more of the practice in between those healing sessions.
I love it, man.
Say that the practice is the healing.
Yeah.
You know, for me in my work, healing is 24/7, and it is integrating real life. You know, because we have some people that are in the world and they're thinking that they're just like, oh, and they're not even seeing the world. For them, the world doesn't exist because they're so caught up in this spirituality, you know, that it's and it's a whole game, because we know that the powers that were, they're taking this whole spirituality thing and they're giving it to us in an extreme way, because they want to cause the confusion. They want to, and that's why I love the simplicity of coming back to the community. What do you need? Because that's a spiritual practice right there. People think that spirituality is something new. No, anything that you do that is part of you, that is your spiritual practice. Whether it's a good spiritual practice or not, then that's a whole nother thing. But the things that we do in community is spiritual work, is healing work. And
being of service. Being of service is healing work. You know what I'm saying? Like that when I do what I call refresh sessions, those refresh sessions are simply being able to carve out structure for people to intentionally focus on the area that they need advancement in their human growth and development. That's it. So whatever approach I got to use to give you the playground to figure that out and bump your head a few times. And then we use some analogies. We use some ancient, you know what I'm saying, comedic wisdom. We pull from whatever your faith is or your beliefs are. We find the symbolism, whatever it is that's going to help you change your process of thinking to overcome the trauma and the drama. Like, y'all, we've been on trauma for a while, y'all. I'm not saying we're not supposed to work on it, but we so infatuated with our trauma that we not forgetting to just, you know what I'm saying, do some of the things we need to do. Like, we a little too, you know, the analysis of paralysis, the paralysis of analysis. Like, come on, at some point we got to bust a move. And so some of that is facilitating experiences where you can work with other people, melanated people, and it's like, oh, we leave feeling good. I built a good relationship. Like, this was healthy. Like, oh, these are people that don't want to hurt me and I don't want to hurt you. We got to create those environments. Nobody's going to make that for us. The education system is not going to make that. They still over there fighting, trying to force the white supremacist education to give them something. Religion is not going to do that, because the extremist is going to get cultish and act weird and try to hurt somebody, right? You know what I'm saying? Sports has never did it for us, and it will never do it. Sports only takes the best of our men and women and the best of our money. We cannot depend on that to unify us. Entertainment, it feels good, but where it's at right now, that is not going to restore us. It's making it hip and cool to go to dope environments and just feel fly, be fly, do mental health work, do emotional hygiene work. It ain't got to be churchy. It just got to be real. That's what I'm here to bring. You see what I'm saying? Because all that other stuff divides us. Go do that at home. Who you make love to, who you pray to, how you make your money, that's none of my business. Just come here with the morals and values in place, and let's save these Black people. Let's save melanated people. And then you can figure out and go to your own congregation, your own circle, and do it funky like y'all do it. But we got to stop being divided. So that is really what I would say to emphasize on. More environments and events where we can be human with each other. It ain't that we drinking. It ain't that we trying to find a boo thing. You'll find your future wife or husband or spouse doing the right thing in the right place. They ain't in the club. They ain't at these fashion shows. They ain't at these entertainment venues. They are in places where people are actively making it cool to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? Well, my brother Kariga says wellness is the new genre. And it is. Wellness is the new church. It is. And you can come as you are in whatever culture or spiritual belief that you have. We cannot afford being divided no more.
Yeah, and shout out to Omo Wale, because I just gave him the boot. Don't come here with the bullshit, people, because I'm not with it.
Boots on the ground?
Yeah. No, that
You
no.
over there sniping?
Oh yeah. I don't play.
Sniping?
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got the chopper ready. So don't play.
Word.
I wanna talk about, you said something, you talked about the education and the system, the education system that we have is absolutely garbage. Do you have any programs in your menu for someone who, let's say they're a mom and they want to homeschool and they want to create something, for homeschooling? Can you assist with that?
So I think I'm very good in terms of being a coach. I'm
Mhm.
good at customizing what it is you need. So if you're saying, this is my challenge, this is my challenge, this is my goal, we're going to design and customize a structure for you holistically to do that. So if that means you need to do the research to find out the different institutions or the organizations that have homeschooling programs, if that means we have to design how you're going to create your day-to-day schedule to accommodate this change, if that means making sure you're plugged in with your village so your child has support outside of you at home in this homeschooling program because you didn't sign up to be a teacher, so you learning too. You know what I'm saying? All of those things are things that in social wellness, if I had to do one-on-one coaching and somebody needed that, I would come up with activities that would strengthen their confidence to build the structure to be that homeschooling parent. Right? The same thing with teenagers or students or entrepreneurs. You spit out, I am the original ChatGPT. We in our ancestral wisdom, we don't need artificial intelligence. We need ancient intelligence. And so we got to remember that we can't chat GPT everything to tell us what to do. You need an auntie, you need an uncle, you need an elder, you need a yay. You need a guide and counselor. You need therapists. You need coaches. We need each other. And that's what I want to humanize us to remember. We don't need no YouTube program to teach us everything. We don't need, popular people to tell us what to wear. I'm trying to make it popular where no brand is the thing. You should be rocking your own people's brand. If you can't rock a brand from your own neighborhood, something wrong.
Yeah.
Right? That's social wellness. Because if we put the money we put in Nike, into Adidas, in anything that we wear, into simply that half of that money, into going and buying clothes from a local vendor, we would change the whole economic system. That's social wellness. I got to teach people what entrepreneurialism and bartering. I teach bartering. I teach trading. Anything you want the community to practice, bring it to me, and I'm going to create a whole activity or a system that we can practice together. We can make it fun too.
Yes, sir. I love it. Look, let me represent for the brand real quick for one of them. And then look, y'all can get y'all some Ase merch on the website.
Ooh, Oregon Energy made by Queen Mahri.
Yes,
Gracias.
We gotta like when we have our first little summit or conference, we all gotta pull them out and unite at the same time.
Remember how the Rock used to do? We're gonna
There we go. Yes, I feel that the spiritual crystal gangs, we're the little nerdy, we're the little earthling nerds, aren't we? Aren't we the sweet little earthling nerds flexing our crystals? You guys are so cool.
Look, I got the one around my neck. I got them all sitting all over the place. They're in the back, they're everywhere.
Right. If we're gonna be rocking their Nike swooshes, if we're gonna be rocking their 3 stripes, if we're gonna be rocking their Apple, whatever, we need to make it cool to where the next time they on that runway, the next time they on that fashion week, I want to see you who in your own 916 area code made that. Why are we representing a $5,000 dish so you can suck it in and look just as fine in a customized outfit from a big mama in your neighborhood? So we got to make cool. We got to make logical cool. Even if you got the money right now, it's not logical to do it like that. You can feed some babies somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So we can have nice things, but we got to re-socialize to know that this shirt is nice that I got. A Ghanaian shirt is nice. That's just better. That's even better than Versace.
It's beautiful.
That's better than Gucci.
Absolutely.
So I like to make activities so we can change our mindset and start seeing what we got. We got everything we need. And if we barter and exchange and trust each other to facilitate, we can build that and we can start to depend on each other. That's what we need to do. We're scared to work with each other because we've been conditioned to not trust each other, not depend on each other. Who gonna teach that? They don't teach you that in school. In school, they teach you to get good grades. They don't teach you to be good and nice to each other. After kindergarten, that's it. It's all competition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to undo the competition. I'm trying to undo the guilt and the shame. I'm trying to make sure that we making it fly to, just like we go to sports and entertainment and everything else, to go to a social wellness event. That need to be a regular in your rotation, just like the farmer's market.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna make it that. And the funny part about it is
100%.
all of the material that you see in all these high-end brands, I'm not even gonna say their names, but I can guarantee you, if you look at them patterns and you look at where they get their logos and their branding from, it came from our indigenous heritage.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. They know the power of our symbols.
Every
They know the
single one
power.
of them. Yeah.
We got to know the power.
Yeah.
We got to know the power.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they bought, the reason why there's a pyramid on that dollar bill. They know the power of all our magic, all our juju. That's why they want to take it and they want to keep us from remembering it and using it and telling it's pagan. You see what I'm saying? So this is where we're at right now. These are all about the exchanges that has to happen. So I'm here to teach us how to talk to each other, to problem solve. I'm a master mediator. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the tribal community social worker. Right? That's what I am. And I don't care if it's the elder that needs some head and heart open surgery. I don't care if it's a kindergartner. I'm going to work with anybody that needs that work.
I'm
so happy that you said you don't care if it's an elder that needs it. We're going to be talking about this in a future podcast as well. But we have communities now where people think, oh, I just turned 60. I'm an elder. Now you better respect me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or I'm an elder. I can touch a man in this way because I'm an elder and I'm a woman. So I can do that. And so a lot of people that have suffered their whole lives, by the time they get to that elder position, oh, now I get automatic respect. And now I'm going to go and put all of this energy into the world, and people act like they're respecting that because somebody's an elder. So we got to be able to check our elders as well. That's so important.
Yes. And that's part of that social wellness practice. How do we hold accountability without crushing each other, without clowning each other? How do we, in a kind way, how do we gently correct each other without having to become enemies, without having small things become entry points where a whole bunch of trauma comes out of one smallest misunderstanding, right? Like, where is that?
Leading with love. We got to do it with love, because that's my number one pet peeve is I don't take disrespect. Like, I don't care who it is. I just don't deal with it, period. That's the one thing that'll make me go instantaneously. Like, don't do that. But at the same time, there are those times where we do have to bring that awareness and that accountability to those who may be senior to us or elders to us. So the thing that I had to really focus on, because my energy kind of can get wild and out of control at times, is like to really take the time to like not address it in the moment, to like recalibrate, refocus, rejuvenate, like get my mind right so I can come at it with a place of respect, you know what I'm saying, and a place of authenticity and honor, but at the same time just making sure that I'm able to keep my composure and keep my emotions in check, my energy in check, so I don't lash out in a disrespectful manner. You know what I mean? And then if they cross that line, and at that point it is what it is. But I know I'm not going to ever go into any of that with that kind of energy. So if we can do that with each other, I think we'll be straight.
Yeah. So, you know, if church is the only thing that teaches us to be civil, and we only go to church once a week, we in a whole lot of hurt. So we gotta, how do you take that divine practice and put it in the street? How does that divine practice and that wisdom transfer to school, transfer to home? Who helps you to hold up all of those things you learning in them scriptures? Where is it out? Because it can't be the pastor. The pastor got his own problems. Minister can't do it all. So where are the other places that we go? You know what I'm saying? To make sure that we're getting the support, even the therapist thing, right? Like that's cool. And that's one-on-one for you. But who is the collective therapist that teach us as you're owning your shit individually, right? Shit, SHIT, some healing in there. As you're owning yours, let me make sure you don't track it over mine and me track it over yours when we got to work together, when we got to pray together, when we got to play together. How do we manage that? Nobody's teaching us how to manage it, but all the reality TV shows is teaching us how to be nasty and act like garbage and treat each other. It's fun and games. It's people call it guilty pleasures. Even if that's the case, it's molding and shaping a lot of the minds of how we act towards each other. So if I got to compete with that programming, that's why my energy got to be big. I'm out for the attention, the most sacred thing you have. I don't even need your time. I don't even need a lot of your time. I just need your attention. Because if I got your attention, I could take you anywhere I want to go. So if all them people is taking my people's attention to being nasty, to being filthy, to being selfish, to being self-centered, only sexualized, and just, you know, just a sex animal for the world to see, you always on display, you always just nasty, whole culture, you know, gangster culture, all that. If that program is going 24/7 with these babies, of course, when I walk in the room, I got to knock their socks off. I got to be cooler than half of the females rappers that got their attention without showing my titties, without showing my booty. So I got to be dynamic, and I got to snatch their attention and take them exactly where I got to get them to go so that they can say, dang, I need to think about this as soon as they put their earbuds in and go right back to listening to that other program again. I got to be potent. I got to be cayenne. I got to be all of that, because if not, they will keep staying numb. Cayenne wakes your taste buds up, right? Peppermint oil wakes your nose up. I got to be cayenne. I got to be peppermint. I got to stimulate people so much that they get a social emotional imprint that it impacts them in a positive way, just as heavy as the impact of what negative happened in their trauma. So if I want a person to overcome the negative impact of their trauma and the debt that they went into with their human growth and development, I got to match them with experiences that boost them up and blossom them just as quick as that time they got raped, just as quick as that time they went to jail, just as quick as the time they lost a family member, just as quick as they got addicted to drugs. I got to make sure that that impact is just as big, so a person could say, wow, I'm not just my trauma. Wow, there's something else more exists outside of this pain and this identity that I've created based off of this horrible thing. So I'm here to make sure you're joyful. I make sure you got the energy and the decompression off of you. I make sure that you restore yourself so you could go back into that world well practiced, so you don't slash nobody's tires, because I ain't got no bail money for you. I ain't got no bail money for you. So you might as well learn to civilize yourselves and go listen to Auntie and these elders and these ancestors trying to show you, because that was a civilization that created those great things in the motherland. Civilization.
Yes, sir. Listen.
Stephanie says, getting back to it takes a village. 100%, Stephanie. It takes a village.
Yeah. Look,
and we got that village, and I think that part of the problem is that the village is jacked up. The elders in the village are jacked up. The adults are jacked up. The young people think that they're smarter than the elders and the older people because of AI and everything else that's going on. So it's just a lot of chaos and commotion. And so, but it's a beautiful thing, because out of chaos, that's where we create these wonderful things that are happening right now. Because let me tell you, we are not the only ones. Just like you see this community doing things, there's communities all over the world that are keeping hush, that doing what they got to do because they know what really counts. And what is it? En guerra avisa no muere gente. That means in an announced war, nobody dies. So we have to start telling people what, and we need to start doing. And so
you said that one more time for the people in the back, please. One more time for the people in the back.
Say that again. En guerra avisa no muere gente. In a warned war, nobody dies. Like, you can't go tell somebody I'm about to do this.
And that's safety awareness and crisis prevention. That's a part of civilization. You know what I'm saying? So all of these things are the things that we got to practice. You know, when we was in kindergarten and elementary school, they used to have a fire drill, right? There was a drill. There was literally practices and discipline, you know what I'm saying, that we have to prepare for our safety, our awareness, our human growth and development. The schools, as far as them being institutions, they done figured out and said, what we need you to do to become a good employee. That system is not built for us to holistically thrive and learn these multidimensional lessons. You know what I'm saying? That system is simply to help us be competitive against each other and try to be doggy dog to get to the top so we can get a good job and lots of money, and then we'll be all right. And we're lucky if we're a good person. My philosophy is we need to get back to some of that village style collective community-based learning. That means, you need to bring your kids to my event on the weekend. If you're going to take them to Disney on Ice, you need to take them to Auntie on the Rocks. You need to make sure that they're going to community-based events where they can learn to be humanized and civil. Get off of the video games. Get off of the screens, right? So we got to have our own community activities percolating at all times. So that's why I love working with organizations that feel like, oh, because I'm not big and I don't have a big budget. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have a big budget. You can make some beans and rice and get some dollar store Jengas and chest and put that out for the kids and then feed them. And if you feed them, they're going to come. We got to take it back to the Black Panthers where there's community activities that is going to be the restoration place. FEMA ain't coming when the lights go off.
Sure ain't.
Meg Thee Stallion ain't coming when the lights go off.
Sure ain't.
All our favorite athletes, right?
No.
They not coming. They're not gonna come and save us and civilize us.
Neither is Jesus, y'all. Jesus is
bearing his own cross.
Why you take it there?
Didn't they say he died for us? Ain't that enough? We still asking Jesus to do it all. No, there's got to be some accountability. I think we're supposed to be doing what Jesus said. The morals and the story and the essence of what he was, the deity teaches. Not damn. Jesus is our baby daddy. Jesus is our savior. Jesus is gonna come in the rapture. Come on, we put Jesus. Ain't Jesus did enough? What we gonna do?
No, not yet. No, he has not. No.
I mean, get a brother a break. Give a brother a break.
He can't take no break.
Jesus should go on vacation. Jesus should go on vacation and say, look, I will come through when you do what you got to do. That's what Jesus need to say. You do your part. I did mine. I'm gonna go handle some other things. I got some other incarnations to show up in nature, in lessons, in wisdoms. I can't do it all for you. So we got to stop nailing him up on the cross and sacrificing this idea when the real healing is us doing some down-to-earth work, right? The brother said, gee, he is us. Absolutely. Right? So that's if that's what you need to believe in Jesus to come and help do this emotional hygiene work, come. You can bring sweet Jesus with you. It's okay.
Listen, Linda, listen. So I know I know we had a set time, so I want to do my best to honor that. But before we get ready to roll, can I ask a couple more questions? Because
we good. I got till 8:30. I got a good 20 more minutes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. So some Washita Wellness said, can you please mention your Baba's name? Because it came up earlier in the conversation. I held this one because I wanted to wait until I could ask, the question for
my Baba's name is Imhotep Al-Kabalan. And he is one of the original founders of Wose Sacramento, in which at the tender age of 9 years old, I became under his teachings in terms of spiritual high culture, in terms of African, science and spirituality. And he is who gave me my passport to the spiritual realm, along with my mother, who is somewhat of a spiritual anthropologist. And just when I was growing up, every 2 years we was practicing something different. 1 year with Buddhists, next minute with Seventh-day Adventists, next minute we New Ages, next minute we, you know what I'm saying? She every journey she went on, she took with me, and I'm not mad at it.
Beautiful.
Clearly, I know my spirit, and what I learned is in all those places, I got some good valuables and morals. Right? I know all those places. She surrounded me by good, authentic people. She got in and she got out. She didn't go into it and turn herself out. She got in. Right? She learned the essence of that particular spiritual walk, that particular belief. Right? And then she got back out and was like, all right, I'm going to keep that with me. And I'm going to go add a little bit more. And that's what I'm a product of. So that's why I don't have a problem seeing spirit in people of all denominations, all status brackets. Like I can learn and teach from a brother on the block and the sister in the hood, just as I could build with y'all. So if the truth is real, that's when that God authenticity is present. It melts away all the barriers. It melts away all of the barriers.
It's like going to a spiritual buffet. That's how I look at my journey. If it tastes good, I'm gonna get some of that. I'm gonna get a little of that. I'm gonna get a little of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're not gonna put me in no box. Me and Mahri talking about that last.
African food is a buffet. when you eat African food, it's a little bit of everything, and you pinch it up with your hands. So see, everything always go back to Africa somehow with
Hey,
us whole spiritualists. Huh?
hey.
Now I want some Ethiopian food.
Hey, Queen
I
Sheba.
think I chant to Queen of Sheba, Queen
Yeah, we got
Sheba
one down
on
here.
Broadway.
We
Yes,
got one down here
indeed.
too in Tampa.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
I
indeed.
say. Now this was dope. I knew it was gonna be dope anyways already, but
Yeah.
it was probably
Well,
doper than I
glad to
expected.
be here. You know, I love running my mouth. When I was a little girl, I told my mama I was going to figure out how to make my living running my mouth, and I done
Hey,
figured it out.
hey,
So, you
you and
know,
me both.
and it doesn't matter. Even when I'm doing keynotes, even my keynotes are interactive. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I get you. You're the scholar of the hour, but I want to engage with people.
yes,
So then
yeah,
it don't matter if I got a 20, 30 minute, 40 minute, an hour keynote. I'm making sure that all them people that you got to come and give me some attention get to feel something, get to
yeah,
talk to each other, get to facilitate something. I mean, gone are the days where we just talk about the theory. We got to
yeah.
do something to make it activate. We got to make sure application is there. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what's funny?
Yeah.
And I'm a pass the mic to you after this, SEG. But my last two questions I wrote, and I love it because on our last call on the last minute of our call, you said, "What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do to put whatever we decide to do into action? Like, how are we gonna help our people apply the information or apply, what we're bringing to them?"
Mhm.
I love that, man. I
Yeah.
love it. So with that. Can you share, any way, shape, form, or fashion, anybody who was on the stream or anybody who sees the replay, what would you recommend on November 12th, 11:13 p.m. Eastern time? What would you recommend us taking from all? And you dropped a lot, you put a lot on that buffet today. So from all the things that we put on there today, what would you say that would be the number one priority for us to take away from this conversation to put into action? Because they say knowledge is power, but I feel like it's applied knowledge that really creates the real power. What can we apply based off of what we learned tonight?
Explore and study the best practices that maximize your value. Explore and study the best practices, right, that really optimize your value, your gifts. Whatever that is, explore it, right? Because a lot of the time we get our education or we go to school or we get socialized to take a particular path. And that particular path, we're hyper focused on it. And when we're looking at, right, melanated spiritual, cultural high practices, it really was about being able to be a seba, a student and a teacher in multiple areas. And when you cultivate yourself exploring different things, what happens is that whatever engages you the most, a lot of us spiritual people like to say that resonated with me, right? Whatever resonates with you the most, that spirit talking, saying there's something in this that will cultivate you. And if you cultivate it, it will be the practice that you need to contribute to your life, to have an abundant life, and to contribute to the village. So I would say, go ahead and explore the different theories. Explore the different practices, explore the different modalities, explore the different healing elements, explore the different organizations. Whatever you do, just continue to engage and explore new opportunities. And what happened is spirit will snatch you and say, that's the one I'm gifted at. That's the one I want to give my time to. That's the one that reawakens something magical in me. And then you will be on your road to mastery of your given gift. And along the way to serving that gift, you're going to get all kind of other gifts along the way. So keep engaging, create engagement opportunities, book me for your engagement opportunities. Whatever you got to do, stay engaged with the spiritual high culture, specifically how that shows up in passionate practice, how that shows up in the restoration of yourself and your people. That is where the magic is at. That's what I want people to walk away. Stay engaged with your spirit. Stay engaged with your practice.
Mm. Ashe. SEG, you got the floor. I'm gonna get out your way.
My question is, for those that are so inspired that they want to do the work that you do in their communities, Marianna, do you have any mentorship programs that you do where you can help people in that study and that practice?
Yeah, so people could book me for one-on-one coaching. I am not in the space right now where I'm doing classes online. I know that's something that you guys have, and we're going to talk about some collaborative, efforts there. Right now, all my engagements are live and in person. That's what I prefer. I don't mind teaching online, right? But there's a particular magic that's in the air when we breathe in the same air. When our heart frequencies are aligning on a sub ear level, like that's I revel in that, right?
Yes.
So a lot of my time and energy is going towards doing as many in-person keynotes, workshops, facilitation, retreats. But if somebody wants some focus on a particular area of development, mentally, emotionally, incorporating a spiritual based approach to their personal or professional development, I got you. We can do some one-on-one coaching. So yeah, we're going to dabble a little bit into, I need to get to know your inner child and what some of your past is. We got to dabble into some of your current challenges. We got to remove some of the blockage and acknowledge where that is. But then ultimately, I'm a coach. I'm not a therapist. I didn't want to go to school to be a therapist. I don't need no degree to be a coach. I know I'm good at what I do. I know I could put the battery in your back. I can help you be accountable for where you need to change without no guilt and no shame. And then we can come up with a game plan. And then the rest is on you. But sometimes people just need that because we didn't get that development in high school or from our parents or even college. We just got taught how to be a professional. We didn't learn how the personal development was going to have so much to do with our happiness, and our spiritual growth and development. So that's what I'm here to do.
Well,
they can book me.
Jay McDonald says, I need to have her speak at the organization I work for. So Jay McDonald, hey.
If you go to my website, there's two options. You can go to the one-on-one coaching and you can book yourself a coaching session. They're called refresh sessions. You can go online at missmarianna.today. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, right? missmarianna.today is my website. You can go there and either you can book yourself a one-on-one coaching session. They're always 2 hours. I'm going to be gone out of the country for about 6 weeks. So if you're ready to bust a move on the new year of the Gregorian calendar and you want to book me, you can go there. I don't do less than 2 hours because we could barely get into it with an hour, right? And then if you want to book me for your institution, your organization, all that, we can have a consultation. And so you click event booking. And when you click event booking, you can go and you can have a Zoom, a 30-minute consultation with me, and we can customize your event for whatever your group is, a school, your company, your organization, your event, whatever it is. So that's how you can get a hold of utilizing my services. And if you can't book me because your organization can't book me, refer me and get 3 organizations and bring me out and we can do a facilitation. We could be creative and get this work.
Oh yeah, we call it joint ventures. That's what we call it. JV.
Yeah.
I am so grateful for this collaboration. Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much more to come. Most of the things that we've talked about tonight, we're definitely going to go deeper. We're going deeper in the Patreon. We're going deeper in the streets. I'm grateful for everybody that showed up live because y'all gave that energy here. Thank you so much for receiving my wonderful guest. I love you so much, Marianna. Thank you so much for everything that you do.
I love you too. I'm grateful to be here.
Ase, man. Listen, I'm grateful for both of y'all. So SEG, I'm grateful for you, and I'm grateful for you bringing and introducing me to Marianna. Because boy, she came and burnt the thing down, man. I knew it was gonna happen, but
y'all got it going on. I'll be here with y'all anytime you need me.
I love it. Yes, sir. So real quick before we get out of here, I know you gotta go. We gotta go. But can you just share? I know I put the website in the chat and on the screen, but can you share how they can connect with you on the socials as well?
Oh, yeah. So if you go to my website, missmarianna.today, you can scroll down and you can get to Instagram. But if not, it's Miss Marianna 365. So that's on my IG. That's, my platforms. Or, y'all know how to find me. we know how to find people on these internet streets these days.
Yeah. Yeah. But I like to make sure I ask because, look, if not,
I'm not mad at it. Look.
They're gonna be tearing me up in the comments. Hey, Baba, hey, we gotta get.
Where's she at? No,
how do I get a hold of
today? Miss Marianna 365. I do have a children's book that you can get online, which is called Super Safety Heroes. And it's a coloring book, it's a story book, and it's a safety interactive workbook. It's ideal for elementary school kids. You know what I'm saying? It's a great way to have conversation about safety, awareness, preparation for your particular household, and just making it cool and fun. I also have another workbook called Own Your Shit, and it's a self-healing guide. It is broken up into 3 parts: the cause, the effect, the healing. And basically it has a lot of charts and graphs and, journal prompt entries. Because a lot of the times people get journals, they light the candle and they after they take their bubble bath and rub down in that good essential oil, and then they're just staring at that journal, right? Sometimes you need prompts, so it helps you to recognize your trauma and how it's showing up in your attitude and your emotional hygiene. And it's only like 50 pages. So it's not one of them workbooks that, you feel guilty because you didn't put enough time into it. If you want it, you can bang it out in a day. If you want, you can get it done in 30 days and just do 5-10 minutes of work. So it's called Own Your Shit. And I do a lot of workshops around that content too. And it works over and over again. So it's one of those workbooks that anytime you have some trauma that hits you and you need like just a process system to like identify what's going on, how you feel, and then get back on track. It's just a tool and a system that can help you to do that. And then again, lastly, if you visit MissMarianna.today, you can get one-on-one coaching. I do it on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then, you can book me for your event and we can fly where we need to fly. If you take care of business, I'll be there.
I see. As a matter of fact, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Washington Wellness Center that was saying, can y'all please do something in Atlanta? I'm working on putting something together in there, actually. I won't speak on it just yet, but it'll be early part of 2026 that we're working on doing something big in the A. So I'll definitely be sharing that with y'all, tribe. And hopefully I can get Marianna to be a part of it. IAG, SEG to be a part of that thing, man. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we're working on it, family, for sure. We're definitely working on putting not just events, but retreats, events, workshops, conferences. Like we working on some big.
Oh, you're talking my language now. You're talking my language.
Yeah, man. So listen, the tribe. No, I love the tribe, but I'm the same way. I'd rather be in person. I'm not an internet dude, man. I do it for real. And I love the real. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at too. So I definitely appreciate you, SEG. I appreciate you. And listen, y'all leave it how y'all want to. I'm just a messenger. So how y'all want to sign off with this thing?
I'm just grateful for time and space right now shared with you. I'm grateful for time and space with your collective. I'm grateful for who this may land on in the future. And I pray that it serves you well. I think sometimes we listen to these podcasts and we engage with a lot of content, right? But very often we don't leave inspired or uplifted. It's just taking up space, you know what I'm saying? Taking up time. And so I want to take up space and time and make sure that you feel increased. And I would just like to say to anybody out there who maybe is receiving this download and this transmission, whether it's now or in the future, if there's any point that is synergized with you, right? That means there's some cultivation that's awaiting you. And so I remind you again to stay engaged with the cultivation of your passion, of your spirit, of your learning, and whatever you get along the way, know that that is the very medicine that you're going to need to overcome your current challenge. My very gift is my very medicine to help me overcome my current challenge. So I just want to remind you of all that. I see some beautiful people chatting it up in the box. And so I'm just glad you were able to share this space with us, y'all.
I have no words. Everything was brilliant. I'm happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you, Orisha Bemi.
I appreciate y'all. Look, I'm going to alley-oop that. Thank you and gratitude to the ancestors and, the great God in heaven, man, because I'm just a obedient servant, but I give thanks and gratitude for both of y'all coming through and burning it down and making it do what it do. So, tribe, I appreciate every one of y'all. Y'all know I love y'all, and we'll be back. Matter of fact, we're going heavy this week, tribe. We'll be back tomorrow and Saturday, man. So we're going to be doing some work, man. And in the private community, I think we're going Saturday. So with that, tribe, I give thanks. SEG, I give thanks. Marianna, I give thanks. And it was can't wait to do it again. So with that, hold on, I'm gonna leave this with Washington. Okay, here we go. I appreciate y'all.
Oh yeah, where's the comments at? They coming up one by one. I can't see them all.
It's hard for me to keep up with them all.
Washington says you pour libation with every word. Washington,
I say.
And I'm gonna leave it with that. Look, and I'm gonna pour a little libation, a little Omi Tutu on the way out, man. I appreciate that.
Gracias.
Appreciate y'all. See y'all in the next episode. Don't forget to please like, share, subscribe. We out, family. Peace. Odabo.
Ẹni tó gbàgbé ilé ṣàpò ìyàgbọ́ tẹ́ǹtì ẹni takísà ní tàtàn ò bá padà sílé anítìjàkọ ẹja lọ pé eégún mo ṣe ní gbẹ́rẹ́ ìpàkọ́ forsake not your ancestors and praise your